Let's talk about the importance of normalizing premature ejaculation. When we say normalize, it does not mean that we should resign ourselves or consider it a problem without a solution. Rather, it is about recognizing that many men around the world have experienced, are experiencing, or will experience episodes of premature ejaculation throughout their lives. One of the factors that contribute to premature ejaculation are masturbatory habits ingrained from adolescence in which speed and secrecy prevail. We are implicitly taught to treat masturbation as something to be done quickly and without a true understanding of our own bodies. Added to this is the fact that we often lack adequate sexual education. In most countries, there is no formal curriculum that delves into sexuality in a healthy, informative, and comprehensive way. This lack of education leads to myths, uncertainty, and unrealistic expectations. The most obvious consequence of this lack of education is that generations grow up understanding sex from partial or taboo-laden angles. It is not strange that many men develop their intimate lives with the idea that male pleasure must happen fleeting and almost mechanical way, without giving themselves permission to explore sensations or to cultivate patience in the intimate encounter. The consequence is that, when someone wants to experience longer or more pleasurable sexual relations, their body and mind have not been trained for it. However, we should not blame ourselves for these patterns since they arise from the wrong references that society has transmitted to us. Fortunately, we have the great capacity to unlearn and re-educate ourselves, opening the way to a healthier and more pleasurable relationship with our body. Remember to subscribe so you don't miss anything. In this sense, normalizing premature ejaculation implies recognizing that it is not an individual defect, but a social and educational phenomenon that affects many of us. Removing guilt and shame is the first step, since both emotions only strain the body and mind, perpetuating the inconvenience that we want to solve. Assuming that much of this difficulty can be overcome through new habits, specific exercises, and a change in the way of thinking is the main impulse that will motivate us to take action. It is very important to emphasize that premature ejaculation, in the vast majority of cases, can be treated effectively. It is not an unalterable fate, but a pattern that can be modified. To do so, a comprehensive approach is necessary that includes both the physical re-education of the pelvic floor and sexual response, as well as mental reprogramming that eliminates fears, pressures, and excessive expectations. First of all, you may wonder why this issue is not discussed more openly, if there are actually solutions. Stigma and lack of information are two major obstacles. However, more and more techniques and resources are being disseminated that can make a difference for those who wish to extend the duration of their sexual encounters. When we allow ourselves to investigate without prejudice, we discover that there are multiple physical and mental exercises that improve ejaculatory control, benefiting not only the relationship with oneself but also the experience with one's partner. There are also very effective therapeutic approaches for situations in which the issue is aggravated by anxiety disorders, stress, or childhood trauma. In many cases, a process of sexual education and constant practice is enough to obtain positive results. Knowing what happens in your body in each phase of arousal, learning to stay calm, synchronize your breathing, and of course, improving the relationship you have with your thoughts can constitute a radical change. The central message of this part is that change is perfectly possible. You don't need to settle or think that you'll never be able to control your ejaculation. I invite you to open yourself up to the idea that there are a wide range of options available. It all starts with the determination to break old habits and learn ways to interact with your body that you may never have considered before. This requires patience and self-compassion, as it is not an automatic or immediate process, but each step you take will bring you closer to your goal. The mind is often the main stage of premature ejaculation. When one is immersed in negative thoughts, fears, and doubts, anxiety can skyrocket in intimate moments. And if there is one thing that characterizes the sexual act, it is its psychological component. The physical body reacts to the stimuli that the mind processes. If the mind is filled with ideas such as, "I won't last," "What will my partner think?" "I have to meet a certain duration," or any unrealistic expectations, it will generate tension that will manifest itself in a rapid ejaculation. Overthinking is often a symptom of a desire to exert rigid control, which actually arises from fear. Fear of not satisfying, of disappointing your partner, of not meeting certain cultural standards that have been implanted in our subconscious. This internal process intensifies as the intimate encounter approaches and, therefore, what is known as self-sabotage occurs. The body perceives the stress and reacts in a reflexive way, ending the sexual act much sooner than desired. To end this vicious cycle, it is essential to work on presence. Presence is not just a philosophical concept, but a skill that is acquired through the practice of meditation, conscious breathing, and connecting with the present moment. By focusing attention on bodily sensations instead of on internal dialogue full of fears, anxiety is reduced and balance is restored. With mind training, we can learn to guide our thoughts constructively, to observe them without judging them, and finally, to let them pass without interfering with our sexual experience. Meditation is one of the most effective methods for developing this presence. Spending a few minutes a day sitting in silence with your eyes closed and breathing slowly teaches you to recognize the nature of the mind and its ups and downs. Over time, this practice becomes a tool that you can take into your moments of intimacy. The very moment you notice thoughts that make you panic or feel insecure, you'll have the ability to direct your attention back to your breathing or the sensations in your body, thereby interrupting the dreaded self-sabotage. Now that we've explored the importance of proper sexual education and the relevance of the mental component, it's time to focus on specific physical exercises that will help strengthen and relax the muscles involved in ejaculation. These stretches, if practiced consistently, can make a huge difference in your performance and confidence. First, stretch the pubicoxygeus muscle or PC muscle. This muscle is located in the pelvic floor and is essential for ejaculation control. To identify it, concentrate on the sensation of stopping the flow of urine. Then, lie on your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. Inhale and contract the PC muscle for about 5 to 10 seconds. Exhale and relax. Repeat this pattern about 10 to 15 times and try to do it 3 times a day. With consistency, you will notice how you gain greater control and resistance during sexual intercourse. Second, butterfly stretch. This exercise focuses on opening up the pelvic area and improving blood circulation. Sit on the floor with your back straight. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees fall to the sides. Carefully hold your ankles and apply slight downward pressure, guiding your knees to come closer to the floor without straining them. Hold the position for 30 to 60 seconds and repeat at least 3 times. You will feel your pelvis becoming more flexible and your body getting ready to enjoy yourself without unnecessary tension. Third, downward facing dog pose or Adho Mukha Svanasana. This yoga pose is not only excellent for stretching your back and legs, but also for reducing stress and promoting blood flow to the pelvic area. Start by getting on all fours with your hands aligned under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Then raise your hips, stretching your arms and legs, forming an inverted V. Relax your head, inhale and exhale calmly for 30 seconds. Rest and repeat the pose 3 times, feeling the tension in your back ease and your mind calm down. Fourth, hip flexor stretch. Ideal for releasing tension accumulated in the pelvic muscles, especially if you lead a sedentary lifestyle. Step forward with one leg, forming a moderate lunge, and lower your hips until you feel the stretch in the front of the opposite leg. Do not force the movement. Hold the position for 30 seconds, breathing slowly, and then change legs. Repeat 3 times on each side. This exercise will allow you to gain mobility and flexibility, key aspects for a more conscious and relaxed sexual performance. Before the 5th, if you want more, don't forget to subscribe. 5th, child's pose or balasana. Known for its deep relaxation effect, child's pose helps to decrease anxiety and relax the pelvic floor. Sit on your heels and spread your knees slightly apart. Slowly lean forward until your forehead rests on the floor. Extend your arms, or, if it's more comfortable, bring them to your sides. Breathe softly and deeply, allowing your spine and mind to relax. Hold this pose for 30 to 60 seconds, repeating at least 3 times. As your anxiety subsides, you'll notice your ejaculatory reflex lessens as well. These exercises, combined with deep breathing and Kegels, significantly enhance ejaculation control. They also reinforce learning about your body and how it works. Don't forget the importance of consistency. The more you practice, the more natural it will be to manage impulses during intimate moments. Over time, your muscles will be prepared to sustain greater pleasure, and your mind will know how to redirect attention to positive sensations instead of limiting thoughts. You will have realized that this proposal of 5 stretches is only the gateway to a wide universe of techniques. You can explore more yoga postures, synchronize breathing exercises with your partner, or specific massages that improve blood circulation in the genital area. The important thing is that you remain willing to learn, experiment, and adjust your routine until you find the formula that works best for you. Every body is unique, and discovering how yours works is one of the most enriching experiences you can have.